Hello everyone, welcome to Israelite Tarot. Today I am switching it up from the zodiac videos that I was doing. I was just about to start Gemini's when I felt drawn to do a completely different type of energy reading. So I was doing like the feminine and masculine energies within a person, not the energies outside of them. So it was like the balance within them, the yin and yang within themselves. And so I'm taking a break from my zodiac videos. I'm going to do this little divine energy reading that I was drawn to do. And I feel like the reason that I was called to do this is because a lot of us that are on this journey are really experiencing um, a lot of pain in our 3D reality. And the reason we're going through this is because on a whole nother level, we are experiencing healing. We are going through a transitional phase in our life where we are healing through pain. It's almost like we have to experience the pain to understand what we're going through and why we still have this deep set pain. And it could be bringing up traumas and long lost thoughts that you probably haven't thought about often or at all recently. Almost like a spiritual PTSD, just not as intense as actual PTSD, but it's almost like your subconscious is healing, and it makes sense with all the retrogrades that are going on. There are 4 planets retrograde, which are Pluto, Venus, Saturn, and Jupiter. I believe those are the 4 planets that are retrograde. So there's a lot of trust, faith, relationships. All of these different things are being healed. So this can be pertaining to our families, our friends, the people that are significant others. This also pertains to the type of career that we have. Like, literally, all of these retrogrades are affecting every single aspect of our life. I saw 222 on the clock. So this is meant to be happening right now. This is a very pivotal moment in the human evolution. That I don't think we're really prepared for, because I don't think we can ever truly prepare for evolution. It just kind of happens. It's like, hi, I'm here. Let's get it. It's time to fucking grow. You know, and it's kind of like a plant. You put it in the soil and you water it and you kind of let it do its own thing. That's kind of what happened here. And so we're just continuously growing like a plant, and the universe is just watering us, and we're kind of doing our own wild thing, just trying to figure it out. But things have to change. It's almost like, how the praying mantises are starting to like change and look different and have different colors and hues. It's a lot like that. We're becoming the praying mantis. The praying mantis is becoming us, essentially. But I'm going to go ahead and just hop right into these messages that Spirit is channeling. It's mainly about what's being healed. So let's see what's being healed in the collective. I'm going to use this deck right here. This is the Easy Witch Tarot. I'm not shuffled any of my decks because I just kind of sat them out and was like, let's do this. So let's do this, all right? So we're going to go ahead and channel and see what's being cleared and healed on a subconscious 5D level. What is being healed, and there's another question I'm looking for, but we're going to answer this one first. So let's see. What needs to be healed? Thank you, Spirit. Let's get thank you. I was literally just about to say 2 more cards, and exactly 2 more cards fell out. So that was dope. So these guys go down here. This one goes in the middle. This is kind of like a standing energy. It was upside down. So I feel like this energy is a hidden energy. It's around you, but it's hidden. So what's being healed, like I said, with Venus, the Venus retrograde, as well as the one that's resonating the most with this energy is the Jupiter retrograde. I don't remember the information about it, but what's coming to me about the influences of that current retrograde is that it's really influencing our success, our financial outlook, basically how we create our material world, how we create and view our 3D like plane. So hopping right into this message, I want to first start off with there's both the energies that I'm feeling in here, because I do draw in zodiac energies. Take the energy as it resonates. Don't apply, like force it to apply to your life, as this will cause dissonance and more conflict rather than healing. So if it doesn't apply, just throw it out the window and hope that it'll grow some wings and fly. So this energy in the middle, the Page of Swords, the card that was upside down, this like hidden energy, you'll often find people relate this card to the Pages, like, okay, I said the Page of Swords, like, really, I meant to say relate it to like a stalker energy. And this is true, but they're not like it's the kind of energy where it's not like they're trying to stalk you. It's almost like you keep popping up like for them to see you. And it's like instead of like swiping it away or anything like that, they keep looking at it. Like they don't stop themselves. But it's not like they're purposely like looking for you, you know. But this individual, the reason that this energy is here is because this individual is somebody that you are trying to heal from, but their energy is like constantly around you. It's in your energy field. You see how his sword is raised? It's like he's constantly like, when I think of a sword, I think of somebody speaking quick. You know, the sword, it just, once that baby drops, it is going to cut. It may not hurt, but it's cutting. It's quick. It's fierce. It's blunt. That's the word I'm looking for. It's very blunt. And that's kind of like the person's energy around you. It's very blunt, almost rigid in a way. And I feel like the situation that happened between you guys was almost like there was an overabundance of emotion and an underabundance of logic. So that lack of logic almost kind of caused like some event to happen between you and this energy. There could have been like possibly distrust. There was an honesty, and it's kind of caused a mistrust within yourself on some level, even if it's very, very subtle. This experience has caused a mistrust within yourself with other people as you move forward. But what I notice the most about this is that this energy is actually really positive. So I feel like you've already actively healed yourself. It's just the energy keeps popping up and you're trying to officially like clean that energy out, and you want that energy gone because you have healed yourself and you're not trying to. Retrogrades are when planets are going backwards. So for a short amount of time, a planet will go backwards and sort of like pull all the energy in a completely different direction. So say the planet Jupiter, this is the easiest one because I know this one the best, is about luck, and it's about you relate it to the sign of Sagittarius. So this is a very adventurous planet. So when it's going in retrograde, when it's going backwards, it's almost like it's amplifying what's blocking your luck and what's blocking your ability to experience adventure or experience for some reason the words that came to my mind was the spice of life. So like think of it in that way. That's what a retrograde is instead of taking the energy forward and moving it forward, it's basically causing you to pull all of the energy back and reflect. But this healing has taken place over, I want to say, a period of at the least half a year, 6 months. You've been working on healing this, and you finally come to a place where you kind of have a more grounded sense of peace within yourself. And it is an interesting concept. You should definitely do your own research on it, because I know about retrogrades, but I'm not 100% knowledgeable. I'm just knowledgeable enough to aid you guys and give you guys the information that I know. So yeah, definitely do your own research. It's also more fun that way, because then you also understand how it's affecting you personally. So outside of this healing energy, there's actually like a really strong message here that Spirit wants me to channel. And it's that someone, that energy around you, that blunt energy that's like won't go away. I feel like it did go away for a short period of time. It kind of just went under the radar, and like you didn't feel it around you anymore, and you kind of like had this moment of breathing, and that's what allowed you to like get to that full healing point. And I like full is almost like a stretch, because I feel like the healing it's coming to a close. It's like you're getting to that point where you feel stable and balanced within yourself. But I wouldn't say that like it's a full cycle of healing. It's just a matter of, like I said, this energy is still around, so it's still causing that struggle to get 100% to that healed place. But the reason this person is around is because they, on an emotional level, have like matured. And you know, that's like how people are always like, people don't change. People change. It just takes a long time for people to change. And whenever you talk about people changing, you have to actually leave their presence. You can't be around that person or they aren't going to change, because all you're going to see is what you've always seen. Because it's like the law of attraction, you know, it's about the thought process. You know, our thoughts create our reality. So if you're always thinking about the way that person is, that's who they're always going to be, whether they change in front of you or not. Like, it's so weird. I don't know how to explain it, but like I'm experiencing it currently in my own life. So I do know that it happens, and that to actually see change in a person, you need to distance yourself for longer than, most definitely longer than a month, longer than 2 months. Like, you need to actually have distance. You need to find change in your own life just as much as they need to find change in their own life. And they really have. They've really found some sort of change. They've made better choices. And I feel like it was because of being in your energy. It's almost like your guys' interaction with each other caused each other to heal and become better people for yourselves. I saw 333 on the clock, so that's equilibrium. So that's basically aligning, and like you guys kind of came together to align each other. And this, I'm gonna say this statement because I used to do twin flame readings and I don't do them anymore. It's closely associated to divine energies, yes, but the reason I don't do it is because the term twin flame is so used and abused that I don't feel that there are valid twin flames anymore. We have a collective of individuals that are yes, they are what people call twin flames, but we have to remember that this group is literally like, I'm going to say it's approximately like 3.5 to 4% of our entire world population. Yes, only 3.5 to 4% of our human population, the entire mass of the world, is a twin flame. And so whenever I do this, I can tell like instantly like if it's a twin flame energy or if it's not, because the twin flame energy is a very specific energy because it is a very, very small energy. And that's not like it's a small energy, it's just not in a multitude like you'd say soulmates and karmic partners are, because we all have several karmic partners. Those are the lessons that we learn in life. For that 1106, I don't know what it means, but for some reason I feel very drawn to tell you to add all of those numbers up, and then basically what that adds up to is 8. So that number in itself represents abundance for you. And 911, I would look that one up because I feel like you should add that one up too, but also there is a specific angel number meaning that spirit wants you to know. So def look both those up as angel numbers. But the 1106, you should add those numbers so you'll get 8, and 8 represents abundance. It's the infinity symbol. It represents life on a grander scale, almost like how they say on the 3D level, you're not experiencing near as much as what you're experiencing on a 5D level. So yes, take that how that resonates. I hope I just explained that right, because after I said it, I was kind of like, wait, did I? So I think I said it right though. But anyways, this person here that's like they're going through this change and they've matured. They're currently trying to make a choice to see if they want to actually like make a move forward while their energy is around you, or if they're just gonna like, pull themselves back, because that's really what all this energy is really doing, is it's making us choose, what do we want in life? Do we want to be living with these types of traits? Do we want to live with these types of habits? Do we want to live with these types of people? Do we want to live in these types of conditions? That is what these planetary effects are doing right now. That is what's happening in our current world, is that everything is a matter of, is this what we truly want? Is this what we want out of life? Right? So this person is also experiencing this energy, and they're also feeling this need to make a decision, right? And you feel this as well. You feel this need to make a decision on what is the truest, deepest feeling within you. Okay, I've never heard of that, so I would have to do some research. I know I'm telling you to like do research, but like that's because like the best source is you. So it's always best to like do your own personal research, because you'll always find the answer that you're supposed to. Um this is true. Some people are lucky. Or maybe it's fate. I feel like if you feel like you don't want your soul contract anymore, then you're not meant to be in that soul contract anymore. That isn't a part of you if you're not identifying with it. If it's something that you go into like a state of peace within yourself, and you're like, I don't feel anything, basically. Like, you'll never not feel anything, because even after we find peace with somebody that we've been with, we still sort of have a little bit of pain and a little bit of hurt within us. And we can heal this, but we're still going to have that connection with them, We're going to still have those memories. We can't completely erase memories from us. So you're always going to have those memories with that. But if you haven't experienced this soul contract, that's a completely different energy, and I don't know anything about that. So I'm so sorry, but I don't do that. I'm sorry, dude. I don't know that. Energy. Okay. So a soul contract is when it is a contract that you have created before you came into living this life. So basically, everything you're doing right now, you signed to do. And it's something that you agreed to, like 100%. You weren't forced to do this. You made this choice on your own. And you do it before you come into living this life. So say you meet a person and like you guys are with each other for a while, you had a soul contract with that person. You both in the spirit realm signed a piece of paper and agreed to be in that relationship in this lifetime, right? So soul contracts happen in between lifetimes. I got you. We usually aren't. We're usually, whenever we come into contact with those types of entities, it's usually because they have found a way to influence us and take control of us and cause us to do things that we never really had the intentions to do ourselves. They're very deceiving. You can't tell who they are. This could be a person, this could be an energy, it can literally be anything. So, like, you never really know. I'm gonna put this instant stuff up here because it's kind of really bothering me. Oh, and I crushed it, so never mind. Okay, so back to this message. My brain got a little foggy and I kind of like went all over the everywhere. Yes, essentially every human being that is on the planet right now has signed a soul contract. And this is, I feel, I'm sorry, like, I need to like burn some sage. Fuck, this energy's whack. I don't appreciate it. Okay, so you def are living life if you're rich and famous, and you're living life if you're poor and living on the street, because the richest people are the poorest people. The people that walk on the street with no freaking shoes on are the richest people on this planet. You want to know why? Because they do not value their life based on the material items that are around them. Do you see how much freaking stuff I have around me? Like, I look at this stuff every day and I'm like, why do I have all this? And then, like, I remember, like, this is my spiritual stuff. And, like, if I needed to, I could literally put all of this in one bag and get rid of everything else and be, like, so okay with my life. You know? Yeah, the rich don't. The rich don't give a fuck about you or me. They don't. Like, point blank, period. You know? But that's because the reason they don't give a fuck is because we don't give a fuck about ourselves. If we gave a fuck, we would also be rich. It's a mindset. And I that's just what came to mind. Like I just immediately thought no shoes because like I don't know. That's just what came to my mind. I feel like shoes are the biggest struggle. You struggle to find the right size of shoes when you're living in that type of situation. I've been in that situation and I've had to wear shoes that were either too small for me or too big for me. Like shoes whenever you are poor are a fucking commodity. No. Okay, so here, let me explain this cuz like I feel like this conversation we're having is actually the reason that this video happened because this is so important. Your guitar is not a greed material item. So anything that you use to create, anything that you use that you own that like when you pick it up it or you use it, it elicits happiness or some type of excitement inside of you, that is meant to be in your life. That is an item that aids your growth. And I don't think it's considered greed. Like, you literally, like, I don't personally own a guitar, but I've wanted to have an acoustic since I was like 10 years old. And I feel like if I had one, I would literally be sitting there playing that every single day. Like, that is not a greed item. That is a passion of expression. So it is one of the probably musical instruments, paintbrushes, paint, all of these things are beautiful creations of life that I don't feel like you can be greedy with unless you're the type of person who's like, I gotta have every single one of these paintbrushes when I go into the store. I have to have every single one of these paints. Like, I feel like that's greed, is when you're like, I gotta have every single one of these. But if you're like, if you find a guitar and you look at it and you're like, that's my freaking guitar, that's not a greed item. That is a, I don't even know the name to call it. It's just something to, express yourself through. So there's no way you can be greedy with it. And if you like seem like you're being greedy with it, it's more because like that's just something you really enjoy. But yeah, that was a really good conversation and I appreciate it a lot. I'm glad to like express that because like just as I'm saying it to you, I'm also understanding it on a better level because like I struggle with wanting to buy myself more tarot cards because I don't want to feel like I have too much. Like I have a lot of decks. I have like maybe almost 10 decks. And like I love every single one of them. And I love using every single one of them. They all have a different energy and a different message. And this is why I like them, is because then like I can use this deck and like this deck, when I use it, it's like this is the message, point blank, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then I have decks that are like, they're really soft and they won't like, see, that's what's up. Hell yeah. See, that's like a calling because like when I walked into my metaphysical shop and I saw this deck of tarot cards, I was like, it's a wrap. I gotta have that deck of tarot cards. And every single time I go in there, if I saw a deck that just called to me beyond belief, I got that deck. And like, I don't think that's greed. I think that's just like you're called to something, and that's beautiful. Like, I don't know. That's beautiful to me. I think that's how life should be. Everything that you have is because you're drawn to it, which of course you have to be careful with because sometimes you go to the store and you're like, I want to get that and that and that and that and that, and like that's when you gotta like stop yourself. But the idea is that deep feeling within your soul, like you feel this ping and you're like, oh, like that like almost, it's almost like an ownership energy and you're like, that belongs to me. Like, wait a second, but yeah, these are the types of things, like I feel like this is what these types of things are being healed, these concepts that we have, based on rich and poor people and what we decide is greed and how we communicate with people and what we decide controls us and what we decide doesn't control us. Because this person, this energy that's around you, they don't control you anymore. It's just that when their energy is around you, it makes you feel some type of way, and you don't really know what that type of way is, and so I want to say push it away. And so like this is kind of like growth in general, is like sometimes we just push it away and we're like, I don't need that right now. And we kind of like sidestep it, you know what I mean? But the point of life that we're in right now, with the way that everything is being affected, we can't, sidestep it. Everything, the universe has gotten to a breaking point essentially, and they're kind of saying, you guys have been trying too hard to avoid this, that I'm going to shove it in your face. Like, they're done with the bullshit. Everybody wants change, but nobody's doing anything to change. Like, we can't sit here and say, please, 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 like, please, I want something to change. Like, I want abundance. Like I want this and I want that. And we just sit there. No, we need to get up. We need to action plan. We need to write down our goals. You know, we need to look at what's going on in the world and how we can aid it, because that's what we're here to do, is to make the world a better, more grounded, safe place for every single one of us to live. We're supposed to take care of this land. We're supposed to take care of the animals that live on this land, but we're also consumed with the way that our society is ran, that we don't do it. You know, we have our farmers that do it for us, and they only take care of parts of the land. So what about that other part of the land that's just sitting there and needs care? You know, we see empty fields with overgrown grass in places, and we see empty fields with garbage in them, and it's like, we as humans are supposed to be cleaning that up and preventing that from happen, right? But because of the concepts that we've learned as we're growing up, and the concepts that the world has been taught since it was born, we've gone into a place of laziness and greed and selfishness, and we don't see, we have tunnel vision in the worst way possible. You know, we look at it one way and we don't try to see, because, you know, people will say, we can clean that lot, and then they'll say, but guess what that but is? That but is, it's just going to get dirty in a week. Like, no, that's the power of words, you know? Like, if we say that, then yes, it's going to be dirty in a week. We manifested it, you know? So we need to sit here and say, I'm going to clean this lot and it's going to stay clean. I'm going to clean this lot and everybody's going to see this clean lot and they're going to want to keep it clean, you know? Like, that's the mindset we should be living with. Because I used to have that mindset. I lived in a place where, like, literally every single empty lot was filled with trash. So you know what I did? The lot behind my apartment, I cleaned up the whole back side of it, right? It looked so freaking nice. And then I kept saying, like, this is going to stay clean, it's going to be beautiful, and it stayed that way until one day my whole entire mental, spiritual, emotional state just went to shit. You know what happened to that lot? That lot got fucked up. There was so much trash. People were throwing old clothes, bags of books. They were throwing this shit in this lot. And like, I was livid. I was like, why is this happening? Like, I cleaned this lot and these people are just disrespecting it again. And it's because of the way that I was thinking about it, you know? The way that you look at a situation is the way it's going to be perceived, you know? And that's a kind of confusing sentence. I'm not even going to lie, but energy and be like, you know, like see how it makes you feel on a different level. Like, it's like, another good example is the George Floyd, like the protest about that happening, which it's still Blackout Tuesday and Black Lives Matter, point blank period. And yes, all lives matter, but we need to remember that Black lives are being affected the most. So we need to be sending and helping them as much as we can, because if we help the minority parts of our community, we help the majority part of our community, and that helps us grow and become stronger people as a whole. All right, I'm good. That's what I wanted to say. I'm Gucci. Anyways, basically everybody at the protests are saying, like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. You know what you are doing? You are manifesting that we can't breathe as a collective, you know? We are manifesting that we can't get through this. So we need to start saying, I can breathe. I can do this. We can get through this, because we can. We have the power. We are the people, you know? I don't know how many freaking people are in the government, but I'm almost 100% positive that we trump them. Besides the army, you know, outside of the army, we as a whole community of U.S. citizens, we trump the government as a whole. Therefore, also, they're technically supposed to represent us, not the other way around. Just gonna call them out for a second because that's important. Anyways, this goes to the mindset thing and the manifestation behind words, the power behind words. And we have to remember this as a community. If we, as a community, this is true. The army is made up of citizens, but they are majorly controlled by the government. Therefore, with their mindset, okay, I can't say this 100% because I don't know anybody personally. Yes, they are people. Yes, I value them. And they're stuck in the middle of it in a way because they have families that they don't want to hurt. And then they're like, but I this is my job. You know, this is something that I got to do. So it's actually, that's a very sensitive topic. And like, I want to keep going on about it, but I don't feel like I'm educated enough to. So I'm going to stop myself because I'm not that gal. Anyways, what was I saying? Mindset. Let's go back to the mindset and the power of our words. It really does. Like, it's honestly, to be a peacemaker is to sacrifice a lot because peace is something really fucking hard to get. And like, I mean, you got to have strength and willpower and confidence to be a peacemaker. And yes, that's what I'm going to call people in the army, even though technically the U.S. Army isn't that much of a peacemaker as other armies, but that's life sometimes. That's just my own personal viewpoint. Anyways, I keep being drawn to this Ace of Cups over here on this table as I'm talking about the mindset and the manifestation behind words. So I feel like this could really affect the positive energy that you're trying to pull in. The way that you think about things, the way that you word things is really affecting your abundance and how it flows, you know? So I feel like if you are like waking up and you're immediately getting on your phone, this is true. They do. This is true. Sometimes, anyways, yeah, I'm on like 4 different channels. I need to come to one. Okay, so, waking up in the morning, reading positive things. This is a good way to start your day. You want to start off with affirmations and reminding yourself that today is a new day. It's not the day that happened before. Yes, you may still have conflicts from the previous day, but this is a new day, and you definitely do not need to carry negative situations with you. You know, if you're having ongoing situations that need your attention, yes, that's understandable. Keep your focus on it. Keep trying to find a solution. But if it's something that's already been resolved, completely draw your energy back and don't allow it to affect you, you know, because it's unstable. But this Ace of Cups, it wants to come in for you, like this, that like wants to come in, but you need to open yourself up to it. You need to create it. You need to say, my life is peaceful. I do have abundance. I am living life. I'm living the dream. I'm living my dreams. You know, these are manifestations, and I feel like the universe wants you to learn about this to allow you to open yourself up to a whole nother facet of life, and in some ways a whole nother understanding as well. Yeah, that's really the message. That was a lot. I feel like it's really a matter of like you just taking control of your life. Like the biggest point is you taking control of your life because you're the person in charge of it. Yes, the universe is like, here's some flow and mojo, but at the same time, like, you got to accept that flow and mojo. You got to be like, I get it. I'm going to now go and implement it, right? And that's like, I was like laying in bed and like, I like literally didn't want to get up. Like, I was just ready to freaking like maybe take a nap, maybe pass out. I don't know. I was going to choose like one of them maybe. And they're the same thing. But anyways, I decided not to, and like I kind of got this urge to just get up. And I've kind of been trying to do tarot a day, so it's just kind of like I officially got that complete urge to just go right into it. And so I stood up and I was gonna do my Gemini video, and then like spirit just like was like, boom, here, this is what you should do. And like I did this, and it feels so much better, to be honest. I feel very grounded, and like I really like delivered a message that's helping, because I'm honestly doing my zodiac readings just for fun. And like this is like, I feel like I genuinely like delivered a message that's helping. Even if I did stop a lot and talk about completely outside things, I feel like those outside things still pertained in a way. Especially like the Black Lives Matter, like that's like the biggest thing I want to bring focus to, because like it's more than just that. It's our community as a whole. It's like it's the police matter, it's the government matters, even if they're the ones fucking shit up. Like it all matters. We just need to look at it and really figure out what we're going to do about what matters. And I'm glad that you learned a lot. You asked a lot of questions, and I appreciated that, because I feel like sometimes people like hop off the live session really quick because they don't know what I'm saying, and I'm just kind of like, if you'd stay, I'd educate you, and you'd really understand what I'm talking about, because I don't really explain most things because I've kind of done it often. But when people ask, I will answer, because I feel like we as humans, that's what we're here to do. We're supposed to help each other, and we're aiding each other in our growth as human beings, because we're never done growing. Like I said in the beginning of this video, like we are evolving beings. And like if you look at any other planet in our solar system, this is the only one built for life. That's why we get hit with asteroids so much, is because we are literally a magnetic pool, an energetic pool, a mass of creating energy. Like this planet was created from feminine energy. So like it's literally meant to create life and sustain life. So everything just kind of automatically comes here to be created. Facts. Like they all do, and like that's the biggest thing, is like um I feel like if people are just saying like all lives matter and they're not going into detail what they mean by that, then they're not really helping the situation. But if they're saying all lives matter, but I realize that, you know, this community is being affected more than this one. Like if we go back to the beginning of COVID, like we can literally be like Asian lives matter. Like that would have been an important hashtag then, because they were being bashed and treated so fucking horrible because of a disease that they probably didn't even fucking do. It probably wasn't even a fucking Chinese person. There's probably some dumb fuck over there of any origin. You don't know. We're a human race. We're literally all the same thing. We just have different skin colors. We speak different languages. Like we need to realize this. Like I don't know how many times I've said that in like the past week, that like we are literally the human race. There is no singular race. The blacks aren't race. African is not a race. It is a is it nationality? Is that the correct word? It's not race, because the humans are a race. So technically Asian, African, Caucasian, all of these things can't be races, because we as a whole are races, you know? So, yes, we are one. And like, if when we come together as a whole, you can't, because that's what we should be doing. We should be bringing our power together to actually do something. Because if we're sitting here and we're all trying to create the same thing, but we're not all saying the same thing, the universe is not gonna know what to do. It's gonna be like, are you guys confused? Because like we can all go to church, but if we're not all praying about the same thing, God isn't gonna do anything. And like that like I don't know. I like I think about this stuff like on a daily basis, and like I think about things on a very intricate level at that. So like I don't know, a lot of this stuff is very mind-blowing, and I'm just kind of like, I don't understand how some people can live with the I want to use this word, but I don't want it to be the wrong word. So we're gonna do a little research here. But I'm pretty sure it's right. I'm so excited to say it, actually. Yes, this is like literally impotence. It is the word impotence. That is what I am looking for. And like, I don't know. I feel like we as a whole have felt this for like a really long time. And so now we have this ability to take action. And some of us don't know what to do with it. We're just kind of like, oh, wait a second. I haven't known what to do for a really long fucking time, that now that I have the chance, like, what do I do? And that's what they wanted us to feel. That's why the governments are the way they are. Like, you know, the arrows that are in the stores, like, that is beyond me. And if you follow that, like, I'm sorry, honey, that's what they want. They're hurting you. They really fucking see us as sheep, and they're trying to see if they can fucking hurt us. And so us following those arrows is us showing them that they can hurt us. Every single time I go in those stores, I go the opposite way because I am not that person, and they can't do that to me. You know, like, I'm here to get one thing, and if I'm on the wrong side of the aisle, I'm going to go down it because I'm not walking all the way around. Like, I don't know. I feel like the most of this is, it's a ploy. They're doing it to make us feel little. They want us to feel little. The protests, the people who are starting it most likely aren't even the actual protesters, but people who want to see things go in the wrong direction. You know, they want to see things go bad. They want the government to feel like I feel like there are people hiding in the protests that are like with the government, that are like making shit happen, so that way it seems one way when it's not that way at all. And so that's why it's really hard for us to trust like news outlets and all these types of things, is because like I told you, like, doing your own research, like, it's so fucking important that we do our own research, and we continue to actively do research, because everything is changing like almost every single second, and something different is happening every single second, and so many different people are telling this story every single second. So we have to always remember this. Exactly. That's the last thing they want. Like, I'm going to comment on the first part of that comment right there, because like they don't want that, because if we come together, they're going to fall apart, because what they're doing is wrong. Oh yeah, no, literally, like, we were having this conversation. If the rioters want to set anything on fire, it should be government buildings, it should be news places, like all of these places. These are the things that should be fucked up. They should be leaving people's homes alone. They should be leaving local businesses alone. I understand the reason people are rioting. Like, yes, we need our peaceful protests, but they're not going to hear us unless we actually get loud, because they don't listen when we're sitting there holding those signs. They're using it to exploit us. They're not doing it to make us actually feel like they're doing something. They're doing it because you know how sometimes you get a dog or you get a cat and they're so fucking cute, and you just kind of blow them up on Instagram or something. Like, that's what they do to us. So we're their cute little puppy, and they take a picture of us and they blow us up on Instagram. And then as soon as we're full grown adults, they're like, ew, put it in the trash. Like they don't have any empathy for the community, because all they want is to control us so that way they can continue to live the lives that they have. Yes, facts. They really are, and it's sad because like the communities aren't doing it, and like it's the people who are above the communities. And like I've had several people that will actually like tell me like I'm going to be a part of the riots and stuff, and then they'll like explain, but I'm not doing it on this level, I'm not doing this and that. And I'm like, good, that's what you shouldn't be doing. And when I say this and that, I'm saying like the local businesses, the looters, that's what they're not doing, and like that's what they shouldn't be doing, because those people are just trying to live their best life and not be a part of the chaos. So we shouldn't involve them in the chaos because they're literally just trying to survive. And yeah, that was a lot of words, but um, I feel like if we just really continue to move forward, come together, and continue to get loud, they won't be able to silence us. And there's no way that they can silence us because it's come to a breaking point. We're at a breaking point, and I don't genuinely feel like this society can keep going on the way that it is, and that sometime sooner rather than later things are going to change. And we may not all like the way that it changes, and they're definitely not going to like the way that it changes, but it's going to be change, and it's going to make way for what we need in life. And even if we're not the ones who get to experience it, there's something is about to happen in the world that is going to open us up to another level of living that I don't think we would have thought possible. Oh yeah, no, like that's why I say like all lives matter, like the police lives matters, because there are people out there who genuinely like they're standing there and they're like, I don't want these people to get upset. Like they were probably just sitting in the precinct, changing room, talking to their buddies, and like two of them probably were like, I'm ready to spray. I'm ready to gas these people. Like I'm ready for bullets. Like there are probably people in that room that were thinking that while they're like, I don't want to do that, I don't want to hurt these people, I'm a cop, I'm here to protect my community, not hurt it. And they really don't deserve that type of treatment. And it kind of sucks because the good cops are kind of getting the bad end of the stick, because if they say anything and they do anything that goes against what the rest of the cops are doing, they kind of get shat on. And like I don't know if you've seen it, but like there's literally a policeman came out about COVID and the truth about it, and like they fired him. Like they literally were like, yeah, we got to let you go, like you can't be you can't be in the precinct anymore. And it was just kind of like, so we firing people for telling the truth now. And it was just kind of, it was really mind boggling, because like that's what's happening in the world, is the people who are being truthful are the ones that are getting silenced. And that's because our world has been built on lies and falsities and dishonesty, and it's falling apart every single day. And they don't want it to, because if it does, they lose control. And when they lose control, they won't be able to ever gain it back, because once we gain control, I feel like as a collective, the way the energy has been going, once we gain control, we're going to make sure that this place, I say this like so often, but this planet isn't meant to have these boxes on it. Uh, just letting you know, my connection have boxes. And when I say boxes, I mean our houses. We should be building our houses out of the natural materials that are around us, not taking our natural materials and processing them into what they are, because we can build better, stronger, sturdier, warmer, more eco-friendly houses than we do that are like even healthier for us to live in. Like, they put freaking asbestos in roofs, and it's like, what are you doing with your life? That's supposed to be insulation, but like if I breathe it in, I'm gonna die. What? Why would they put that near where we live? Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Why we live like this? We should be living with the trees. And like literally, like, do you know how much peace you get when you're standing outside and you're not worrying about anything? It's like you're in a different place, and it's like you feel so free. And then you go inside your house and you're like, why is everything so uncomfortable? And it's like, because you don't belong here. You belong out sitting in a tree or in your little tree house, living your best life, foraging for berries and hunting for. It could be subtle population control, and that makes sense. But I feel like there's no real need for population control. The only reason that we need population control is because the way that the human beings work is we settle in one spot and then those spots continue to grow. And so if we continue to move and we continue to basically think of it as like people who live in mobile homes and buses and all that, if we're moving like this, then we are actually filling up the land we're supposed to be living on, because what they call population control, or like, you know how they have a bunch of land that's fenced off and we're like supposedly not allowed to go there. Like, why are they telling us we can't go to this completely empty land? Like, why are they telling us it's restricted and it's cut off? Like, that doesn't sound right to me. Like, that's perfectly able land for people to live. There's no need for population control. We don't allow ourselves to live on the full capacity of our earth. And if we did, we literally would not need population control, because we as a human collective would be growing and decreasing as we are supposed to with the land. You know? Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of nowadays concepts that don't really make sense, because if you look at the bigger picture, it really doesn't make sense. That's why I put in the perspective of like land and how we have so much empty land and we don't use it, but yet we tell people that we have to do population control, and it's whack, and I don't understand it. I genuinely don't understand how another person they're fine-tuning their sheep. I'm sorry. That's kind of funny. Oof. And really heavy. Oh, fuck. That's some really heavy energy as well. Like, because it's true. They really, like, once they start to lose their control, they have to do something to reinstate it. But I don't know. I don't know about it this time around. Like, yes, there are still a lot of fucking sheep in the world. Yes, there is. I don't even want to tell you how many people I saw with their masks like sitting on their chin while they were driving the other day. Which, let me say, like, but I don't like wearing my mask when I'm driving in between my trips. So, like, if I get out of a store, I'm going to take my mask off and I'm going to leave it off because it's hot. It's really freaking hot and I can't breathe in it. So I'm not going to keep it on my body. So, like, it was just kind of astonishing to see these two people still wearing their masks while they are driving. I was just kind of like, it really ain't that serious. Like, I can tell you the freaking amount of times that I've walked into a store without a mask on, and like, it really doesn't matter. Like, I worked at a store and people wouldn't wear masks when they came into the store, and I was just kind of like, okay. And like, I was touching everything that they were touching, and like, I trafficked like a bunch of people through this store, and I touched a lot of stuff that other people touched. Not once did I even get sick. Like, yes, I'm not saying it's not real. People are being affected by it. People are getting sick, but it is not on the level that they are telling us it is on. Like, all the millions of people that the hundreds of thousands of people that they're saying are dying, like, it's probably a quarter of that, because what they're doing right now is they're labeling a bunch of deaths as COVID, and it's not. You have people dying from heart attacks, you have people dying from pneumonia, you have people dying from freaking, like, I don't know why stress came to my mind, but people are dying of stress apparently. Okay, that may not be true, but like that was there. But yes, that's my point is people are dying for reasons outside of COVID, but they're labeling it as COVID because that's the pandemic that's happening right now, and they never know the true cause of it. Even though when these people come in, they're tested already, basically, and so it's like, these people don't have COVID. You know they don't have COVID. So why are you putting it on their death certificate? Oh, damn. What? No, see, like, and this is why if we want to get on to the topic of essential workers are not getting paid the money that they deserve. Like, um, I can say this because my job, like where I worked, I'm gonna put the past tense on there, who worked. I was not getting, like, literally my raise was $1 and I didn't get it till the end of last month. Like the end of May is whenever I got it. Like they're doing it as like a little bonus thing, but your bonus is like $60. Like it's really nothing because they tax the hell out of it. And so it's like, if it's supposed to help me in the time of this, why is it not actually helping me? Essential workers are being treated also like the worst during this entire pandemic. And at the end of it, they need to get what they deserve because, like if she, like, literally, if there are people who are staying in buildings like that with that mask on, like, I only had to wear mine for 5 hours, and like that was still too long for me. Like, you can't breathe in those things. You know how unhealthy that is? Like, you're literally consistently breathing the same air and toxins back in and out of your body because you should be cleaning these masks or changing your mask every hour. Like, it's clinically proven that wearing the mask longer than an hour actually prevents you from being healthier rather than aiding you and keeping yourself safe. So that's just crazy, especially the drink part. Like, so like when she wants a drink break, she has to go out to her car. like it, that's beyond me. Like, they should be able to have some like water. Yeah, like they should have they that's I'd be like so pissed if I worked there. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm not getting paid enough for this bullshit. I gotta wear a mask all day, and you're not even letting me have like drinks inside. Like, I don't understand what their true purpose behind this is because half of the rules that they told us to follow are complete horse shit. Like, it makes no sense. It can't it can't spread through the water. I genuinely studied this like disease, virus, sorry, not disease, virus. I don't know if they genuinely like studied it, but I'm gonna go on a whim and say that they did no fucking research and they just kind of were like, here's some information that we don't really know, but these are kind of like the effects of it. So here, and they don't really genuinely know how it's being spread or how it's actually working. It just kind of was released and it's doing its own thing and it's taking its own trail. And I don't believe for a second that it can be spread through water, because if that was the case, we would have all had it by now and we would have probably all died because we all consume supposedly like immune to it. We would have all been affected if we need to get treatment for it. If there's a so-called freaking what's it called? I don't know what it's called. Vaccine. Yes, if there's a so-called vaccine for it, then like how are we immune to it? How are people literally like getting over it? Like, there are people who get COVID. Like, I literally had a woman tell me that she had COVID. Like, she was positive for COVID. She got tested and yet she was still standing in front of me alive. And yes, there are some people that they're saying are surviving. Um, but I feel like they're not pointing out that it's a majority of people that are surviving from COVID. Not actually, just the whole thing's wild. What's going on in the world is really wild, and it goes back to the beginning of the video of saying that it all really pertains to the retrogrades that are happening right now. There are 2 that end in September. So hopefully something in some sort of chaotic energy in our world, we find some peace in our society, kind of calms down at the. But we also have to remember that I'm gonna do like a little last minute like astrology like thing at the end of this. This energy, with strawberry moon, I don't have like any like information thing about it, but I feel like it's really going to be very influential on what's happening right now. And with it being a lunar eclipse, I also read something earlier that it could actually be a very like it's going to be a very heavy energy. It's going to be a very transmuting time. Like it's going to be a time to transmute energies and release negativity, most definitely. And like it's just a really big time for transition. So nice. What's up? Yeah, no, my connection was also very unstable and like doing its own wild thing for like 5 minutes. But the full moon in Sagittarius, it's like I said, it's going to be a transitional time. Whenever I think of Sagittarius, I'm thinking of the Temperance card. So it's going to be a very pivotal time to regain balance in your life and really, I feel like have a better grasp on what you want in your life. So remember that as you're moving through this week and working with these retrogrades as well as with the energies that are happening in the world, because the more we understand the planetary energies, the better we understand what's actually happening to our planet, because our planet is heavily affected by the other planets outside of us, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. It still happens, and so we have to be aware of it. So it's always good to bring our awareness to it. And I feel like I should really say this. But whenever it comes to awakening and gaining awareness, I want to state that it's not some sort of spiritual like journey. This is just you almost in a way, like, nobody take offense to this. This isn't meant to be offensive, but it's almost like you're grasping a sense of common sense. And like I said, like that is very offensive. I probably would have took a little offense to that, but like sometimes we aren't aware of everything, and sometimes common sense isn't common to us, because that's what it is. It's common, you know. And so if we come across something and we're just kind of like, oh, like what is that, and we start to research it and we start to understand it, what we're doing is we're raising our awareness to it. And then common sense, it's common knowledge, and that kind of in a way draws us better as a collective, because then we're understanding and we're aware and we're sensing just the same as everybody else around us is. And that's really freaking cool. And so I just wanted to clarify that awareness and awakening thing, because I feel like sometimes people don't quite understand what an awakening is, and they're just kind of like, they're trying to figure out how to awake themselves, and it's just like, it's just your understanding of life. It's just your understanding of the way that we move and evolve as human beings. And the more that we basically teach ourselves and the more that we learn about life is sort of the more we evolve on a level, especially if we're not just doing emotional research, or we're not just doing like, you know, raising our IQ research, you know, knowledge, you know, we're also doing spiritual research, and we're also doing emotional research, and we're really understanding ourselves on all of these levels, because we have very many different layers, just the same as we have skin, muscles, and bone. Like we still have our heart, mind, body, and soul. And we have to be grounded and balanced in all of these to be grounded and balanced in like life, to feel like we are moving to a stable place. We have to find a stable place within ourselves. And if this starts with our knowledge and our awareness and what we perceive life to be, then that's where it starts. And that really helps us grow as a community. And allow growth, because we can't grow unless we allow it to, right? So keep all this in mind as you're moving forward. And once again, all of this information may have not been 100% the tarot reading, but it was still information that I feel needed to be heard. And I hope that the message was heard. And I hope that this really guides you guys and helps you a lot. And I appreciate the conversation, because like that really enlightened me as well. And that's another thing. Conversations is very enlightening, and you should always try to really have them with everybody, because even if somebody's closed-minded, you can always sit there and like, just you telling them the crazy ideas and concepts that you have will allow them to become more open-minded, because what you're doing is you're planting a seed in that person. And if that's the way that we can help, by talking to people and just expressing our truth, then that's how we're going to affect the world and allow growth. But we have to be ready to implement that growth, and we have to be ready to want to see change and growth. So allow yourselves to grow, beautiful souls, because you are beautiful seeds about to pop into beautiful flowers. And I can't wait to see what you guys do and what you create, because like, if there's something I love to do more than anything, it's create. So I hope that you guys have just as much as fun as I do whenever I create, and you create something awesome that you're genuinely passionate about. And whenever people try to tell you something about it, you're like, and you cut that shit down, because that's you, and you're not going to let people come in and change who you are. So that's all I got for you, beautiful souls. My voice is starting to crack, so I feel like I should stop here. And like, I've been talking a lot, and it was really nice, and I feel like I got a lot out, a lot more than I planned to. So may this message be heard by those that it is meant to. And blessed be, beautiful souls. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.